Alrighty, it's your boy slightly hungover Stefan with another edition of Stefan Reads Line News here on Small in Japan. The podcast that is brought to you by water. Stay hydrated, folks. I'm Stefan. I am the least popular foreign tarento in Japan, represented by Yoshimoto Kogyo, don't you know? The largest entertainment conglomerate in the country. Anyways, if this is your first time listening, my name's Stefan. I read the Line News on my Line app every single day to you folks on the internet. Line is, of course, the biggest messaging app in Japan, and it has its own news tab, which has an algorithm, I think, that is catered to whatever the hell I click on, which in this case is now largely becoming Instagram posts and whatever the hell else. So let's just get right to it then. Today is the 18th of August, 2022, the year of the devil. Story number 1. Headline. Ano, who I believe is like a singer for a band or something, it says that it's a pain in the ass to go to the convenience store. So she's extremely indoor-ha, so an extreme indoor person. And she buys a lot of stuff on net shopping, so online. Yes, that's right. That is a news story. It's another one of those summaries of a TV show that aired a couple days ago. This time, Odoru Sanma Goten, right? The Sanma-san's talk show. It's like his biggest show, I believe. So Ano, who is known for kind of having like a weird, like soft-spoken voice and like being super quiet or whatever, talks about how she doesn't like to go outdoors. She doesn't like to interact with people, including going to the convenience store to buy food. And tell you what, girl, I know that feeling. Especially now, you can just like Uber Eats the convenience store stuff too, like Lawson's and Family Mart, both on like Uber Eats or one of the other apps. So there's really no need to go to... I mean, it's a little bit more expensive, that's true. But if you really wanted to, you wouldn't have to leave your house to go to the convenience store. You could pretty much get everything you want on Uber Eats now. So I don't really... Yeah, I identify with this person. So yeah, that is story number 1. Not exactly a exciting story, but that's what that's what I've come to expect from Line News at this point. Story number 2. Maeda Atsuko talks about Minegishi Minami's marriage. So Maeda Atsuko and Minegishi Minami are both former members of AKB48, which was a huge pop group back they're still around now, but their peak was like 10 years ago. They're getting married because now they're all in their 30s now. So Minegishi got married. I think we talked about this a couple days ago. She got married to a YouTuber, the leader of Tokai On Air, which is like a YouTuber group, which is kind of like a Japanese YouTube has kind of generally become like almost like just like a variation of Japanese Owarai or the Geinokai. So there's like people tend to like form groups, and like the YouTube channels are like group things almost in a lot of cases. So it's not just like one person with a vlog. It's like 5 people who pretty much just do like a TV show thing every single day for their videos. And Tetsuya was the leader of this particular group, and he got married, he announced his marriage to Minegishi Minami, who is of course famous for shaving her head after having too much fun with boys while a member of AKB48. So Maeda Atsuko, who was the most popular person in AKB, I know if you're already an Idol fan, this is just like I'm just rehashing stuff you already know, but you never know who doesn't know this stuff already. But Maeda Atsuko was the most popular AKB member pretty much of all time. And so on her regular appearance on Pop Up, which is a Fuji TV variety news show, she talks about how she's happy that the negative Mi-chan finally has someone who could be positive and help her have a positive worldview, I guess. So congrats, I guess. And that is the top two. Those are the top two news stories for today. So not exactly a. Thankfully there's no Instagram post today for the top two news stories, but could be better. Moving on to story number 3. If you remember, there's 2 rows of big news stories, and in between those is the actual news headlines. We'll get to those in a second, but let's go to that second row of nonsense stories. So, story number 3, it's Nippon Terebi announcer Sugaya Daisuke announcing that he has pancreatic cancer. So Sugaya Daisuke is he's a Nippon Terebi announcer. He's almost more of like a sports play-by-play guy more than anything at this point. So he announced through an interview with another Nippon Terebi announcer for a TV program that he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in January, actually right before the Hakone Ekiden, which is like the biggest, probably one of the 2 or 3 biggest sports events in Japan. It's like it's where all these colleges get together for a long super marathon that is broadcast on national TV. It's a big deal, and it has like traditional roots or whatever for the most part, but it's just a race. But he's like the lead announcer for that. So just before the Ekiden, he went to a Ningen Dok, so just like a health checkup, and they discovered that he had cancer. So the article that they give is like a super long article. It's like probably like 3 times the length of every single other article that I have today combined, where he just talks about his process of going through cancer treatment and how things want to go. He says that he wants to live to be 120 years old. He's 50 years old now, so he has 70 more years to live on. So yeah, it's never good to have a cancer story, but yeah, hopefully he's doing better and things are looking up for him. Now let's go on to story number 4, to slightly less heavy stories, slightly less heavy topic here, I guess. It's more Sakaguchi Anri drama. So Sakaguchi Anri's husband says that they actually aren't divorced yet. So he explains it and apologizes about it. Apologizes for what's going on his Instagram. Oh, look, an Instagram story. So he talks about how they aren't actually divorced yet. She wants to get divorced, but they haven't written any of the actual paperwork for it. He doesn't want to get divorced. It looks like he's still trying to talk to her and talk things through. For her part, Sakaguchi Anri says that she was waiting to get divorced till after her husband's birthday, which I guess congrats on that. Or like, I mean, what? I'm trying to think of, if I were in his shoes, would I want to get divorced before my birthday, or have my wife, who clearly hates me and is trying to get divorced, and is like barely containing her disgust with me? Would I rather have her wait to get divorced till after my birthday? I think if we were in like some miserable relationship, I think I'd actually that'd be like her birthday present to me, would be to get divorced before my birthday. Where as a bar owner, like a trendy bar owner guy, I could probably get some sympathy action for my birthday. If I were him, that's what I would be doing. But I'm not him, so hopefully these 2 youngsters, these spunky youngsters, get things figured out and live on and figure out the best way to go forward. Hopefully. We'll see. Anyways, that is all the nonsensical main headlines from today's Line News. Let's take a quick look at today's actual news headlines according to Line News. Number 1, the 5 non-leading parties of the Japanese Diet get together to discuss what's going on going forward, and also discuss the Kyu Toitsu Kyokai, the Unification Church problem. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to that story. They're just getting together to talk strategy going forward, try to get on the same page. Really, like the thing about Japanese politics is the leading party, the LDP, has been in power pretty much since like after the war, nonstop. And there's like pretty much they've been in power so long that they don't really have their crap together anymore. but at the same time, the opposing parties, the opposition parties, have their crap together even less than them. So no matter what happens, the LDP stays in power despite no one really liking what they're doing or like what they're, how things are proceeding with the LDP. So you'd hope that at some point the opposition could get its act together and actually get something done, but that hasn't really happened aside from like those 3 years when like the DPJ or the Democratic Party Japan managed to take power, and that ended horribly. So fingers crossed something happens here. Story 2, I should say, is a story about the damage that happened at a famous market in Kita-Kyushu in Fukuoka Prefecture. So there was a fire on the 9th of the 10th of August, and it was a big fire that just took apart, that just like burned through everything. And they say that around 33. Wait, no, what's the number? Sorry, the Japanese number system is kind of weird. They say that around 3,300 square meters was burnt, and the fire affected 45 different stores. And there's also a fire, it looks like, in August as well. So, or no, not August, April as well. So overall, there's 42 stores there that were burnt. There's so many fires here. I didn't realize that this market got burnt twice in 1 year. So wait, what is the information? The way that they write this information is not very good. But yeah, anyways, this night market got completely burnt out. All right, so story number 3. This is really not a well-written story at all, but apparently some guy didn't register his company correctly, / was scamming people. This guy's name is Yokota Kenichi, and he had this company called Top Stage. He was running pretty much like a seminar scheme, like a motivational speaking scheme, it looks like. And he and 25 other people in his company were arrested for illegally acquiring 1.9 billion yen, which is quite a bit of money. There's not really any details in this article, as you can see from the picture. It's a really, really short article. So yeah, don't scam people. So I think that's about it for today. They all can't be winners. Plus, I'm a little hungover, so I think it's not really getting my A game today. Sorry, folks. But thank you guys so much for listening. If you haven't done so already, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Find me on Twitter, Stefan_Tetsu. Find the show on Twitter, small_in_Japan. Find the show on Patreon, patreon.com/smallinjapan. Until next time, thank you guys. I am Stefan saying, don't drink too much.